What's up, everybody? I'm Novo coming at you with another one. Had some spare time for a video, and I saw a request to have a look at Bidu. Um, well, I mean, it's pretty obvious to me that this is on a pullback and it's not done. Reason being, the APO and MACD have done red crosses below the zero. Tried to recover. You can see the attempt to recover, then finding resistance. And then we're flashing red, which means further down pressure. So a flash to the red side under the zero cross, I've said it a few times, means a low volume and, sorry, not low volume, means low momentum. So very low strength and gravity would take over. So a red flash under here is faster than a red flash above the zero cross, unless it's a top, right? But we can see here the APO crossed below the zero right at this red candle, which is why the candles are all turned to red, low volume candles or low momentum candles. And it looks like further pressure to the downside being on the daily. So we can see the rounding off, a little consolidation, and then rounding off, meeting the 20 or the 21-day average. The double yellow, I've edited my coding here. So if you scroll down, I just added the 34 as well. So both of these are yellow. So that would be the 21 and the 34, the both Fibonacci moving averages. I have them as yellow, and the thicker one is the 34. And I'm always tweaking. So, the first signal of a pullback, obviously we break the 20. We found support on the 34, came back up and gave up the ghost, right? Now we're finding resistance on the 20 and the 34. Snapshot number 2, or I guess snapshot number 2 would be red candles, confirmation of the rejection, and then the dump looking down for a lower point. What is that? The 200. Let's have a peek. I'll just turn on the other ones. I'll make it a ribbon, right? 21, 34, 50, 100, 111, and 200. We went below the 200. So right now we're about to test the 200. Welcome to the bear cycle. I think we're going to keep going down. Now this could be short-lived, right? Because we do have momentum starting to climb up. This is the other scenario, but I don't think that this is over. Excuse me. There we go. So momentum is slowly building up, and it's not strong enough to resist the moving averages as resistance. So this may go red. We may see a bounce or a grind and then come back up and start testing these moving averages. We've been resisting the 20 and the 34 here. Here, likely this could be flipping to green and then come up and test the zero and then find resistance again, and then maybe a triple bounce or somewhere on the lower time frames. So, and we'll look at that in a sec. What are we at? 4 minutes. So the general synopsis is we got an A, a B, and then possibly the C wave. And we're looking for structure. Structure is likely, let's do a horizontal line. Structure is likely right about here. So what are the odds that price will come all the way down to around $1.50? I would even push this up a little higher. Like if we go here, we can see that we pierced through this. So if we go below the 200, odds are we'll be testing the 350 right about here, which is just above structure. So I'm thinking we're going to go down to about the 150 mark. And we've got multiple confirmations as to why this price level is important, right? We have resistance here. We have resistance here. We have a support and then a gap down here. We have support here. Previous support becomes future resistance. If we go left, I mean, it seems like it's a very important price level. So it could be that we're going there. And right now, if we look left, we can see that we're in a crucial area where consolidation could happen. If price were to go back up, then we got to start looking at where we saw previous bases, which was right about 235. So maybe this thing will bounce up to about the 220, 230 mark. And let me just stretch this out a bit. And what does that mean? We may test breaking through the 21 and the 34 and then find resistance at possibly the 50 and the 111 right about there. So let's just turn all these off so you can see what I'm talking about. Turn that off. Okay, so now we can see how we kind of found support there. We came back down, blah, blah, blah. Resistance on the 100, resistance on the 111 and the 100. So that's a death cross. And now testing support of the 200. I think we'll probably come back up, maybe break that, and then find resistance there. And then we shall come and test. Let me clone this. I think maybe we'll start coming back down to test that. So right now, this is favoring bearish. RSI, however, we have money flow index bottomed out, and we're about to test to go higher. The RSI also bottomed out. It's kind of within the zone, and it's just leaving. So it could be, this might be close to an entry. We're about $50 above what I think the bottom might be. And then the consolidation will start again before we push to higher highs. Okay, Japanese candles. And we shall turn this off for a sec. We'll go weekly. You can see how support, when we broke through. And then we came back down. This is another area where we may be testing. So maybe, what is that? 190 as we continue down. Looking left, you can see how this is a bit more clear with regards to the support and the resistance on the monthly. Yeah, a lot of chatter here. So I think that's why we're going to see accumulation happening down there. I think, 150 is good, I think, but that wick looking left lines up with these candles. Yeah, that could be the next base. I think the wick, there were buyers down here. This might get shorted and ground down. So let's say 150 to 175-ish. On the monthly, we've got the 111 here. Let's see where the 21 weekly is going to be. So we'll turn all of that off because we're going weekly. We'll play with these two. And the 21 and the 34 and the 111, the argument is somewhere down here. So our first indication is this wick. And the previous arguments of support and resistance down around here. So I think the bias is to the downside. If we go back to daily, we flip over to Henkinashi candles, another way of quieting the noise, so to speak. The candles point down. You can see how, excuse me, you can see how when we go up, it's very, very slow and rounded off. And when we go down, it's sharp. Now we're getting close to an argument where you can see it's shallow growth, shallow dip, shallow growth. But I think this will be the final dip. And then down around here will be the new bottom. We are below the 21 week. Oh, no, sorry. Let's go to week. Yeah, we are below the 21 weeks, so this is all super bearish. And only when we go above the 21 week average will we start to see a lot of confidence go back in. I'm just going to check these volume candles here. So you can see more buying than selling on the way up. And now we're seeing more selling than buying on the way down. And that's pretty intuitive. I mean, it's pretty obvious that it's going to go down if there's more selling. However, we're getting close to volume levels of the previous trading history. So again, we're approaching a sort of bottom. I'm going to go over to there. I'll go full screen. I'm just going to try a GAN box. I'm trying to see where the, let's say the full cycle is right about there. Yeah, this one, I mean, it's brutal that it's coming all the way down. We are approaching this quadrant here. That, look how that lines up. So I'm thinking 170. What is this? Is this 150? 138. So somewhere in this quadrant, I think we'll start seeing. Let's see. Actually, that's not what I want. So we can see how this was the resistance before things went parabolic, at which point we started calculating up to about here, hindsight being 2020. Now the resistance is the 45 down to here, and the support level would be right about there, but I'm going to say to about here. So this is price and time that we have to watch out for. Let's see. And a possible bounce location right about here. What are we looking at? Mid-June. As of right now, we are seeing that, and I think we're going to be testing that, but let's stretch this out a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to go hourly and see if we can see something different. Okay, so these points here, I don't think we'll be, following this trend here, because I mean, that's too crazy, which means we're going to see a higher low. So I think maybe we are getting close, and we may be along this tangent. So it could be that this may be a mathematical support structure right about there. And now we're starting to see a forecast of the future. There is our channel that we're looking at. Potential bounce here, potential resistance here. And then after this, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm thinking this is starting to look like an accumulation zone, right? And then I don't think we'll see, I don't think we'll match the all time high. Um, I don't even know what the date is over here, but I think it would be more like so. And then we'll probably start testing, I guess, somewhere between here, 250, 270 later on before we start looking for higher lows again. So I think this might be the trajectory that we're looking at, and points. So let's see. Let's say June 10th. Maybe this thing will grind down until June 10th. Um, let's make this look nice for the thumbnail. And we'll go daily. Actually, now that I see this, this sort of lines up quite nicely right about there. I do like that, but we'll stick with our original plan. But you can see the trend line that is being drawn here, right? Like so. I just think that trend line is going to be broken, and we'll start testing a lower angle. But right now, it's pretty clear. It's bearish. We got lots of resistance. We got death crosses, continuation to the downside. We haven't had a bounce, so this is not a higher low yet. These are lower lows. So what is the general trend? Well, ever since February 22nd, the general trend has been down. And that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. Trade safe.